I'm so excited, and I've got to tell you that, I guess I'll tell you who I am. This is Lynn from lynnburnett.com. Welcome to another episode of Find Your Groove. We're always here to share stories, strategies, bring you the best people that can help you find your groove again, because we've all got a story. We've all been through stuff, and, it's nice when we can relate to other people and share in the strategies and the things that they've used to be able to get back on track. So Friday's always a good day because I always learn something new. And so it's always a fantastic day, great way to kick off the weekend. Also April Fool's Day, so I'm not believing anything anybody says, but I'll believe what my guest says today. So, and I'm also happy it's Friday because oh my gosh, school, this was the first week back after spring break, and I am not a morning person. If you know me, I am so not a morning person. I will never be one of those people who joins the 5 a.m. club or even the 6 a.m. club. I'm just not a morning person. So this week has been a struggle. So I'm so happy it's Friday. I get to sleep in for the next 2 mornings, and I don't know what it's like where you're at, but here it's gorgeous, sunny, spring is coming. I can smell summer and I cannot wait. So let's kick off the show. I'm so excited to have a friend join me today. Our guest is Tammy Phye. She's a holistic health and lifestyle mentor, inspirational speaker, and workshop leader. And she's also the founder of Lifestyle Harmony, which she founded over 15 years ago. Tammy really empowers people to take action to consciously live their dreams and their best life. And she knows this only too well. And I really learned about her story of what she's gone through in the last 5 years. We hear those stories like, oh my God, I don't know how you got through it. So that's why I love hearing these stories, because if we haven't gone through particular things, we can relate somehow because we've all gone through something. And she really knows from her own personal experiences about, loss of her fiance. We're going to talk about that, and other close losses, as well as a previous burnout. She is on a passionate mission to live on purpose. She really is, when you hear what she does. And, I love having conversations with Tammy because you can tell there's really purpose to what she does and what she says and how she lives. She really supports busy, heart-centered entrepreneurs and professionals to move through their challenges while experiencing a greater sense of calm, inner fulfillment, and increased energy. And this really allows all of us to align and live with more passion. And we're going to talk about a program that she's got coming up too. And her website, if you want to jot it down, is lifestyleharmony.ca. Hey, Tammy girl, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lynn, I'm super happy to be here with you.
Oh, what a great day. So Tammy lives same city I do, and it's gorgeous here today. I'm loving the sun. I'm one of those people that I'm meant to live in a hot climate. I'm not meant to live where it rains. I'm really not. It makes me cranky.
I hear you.
And for you, you're the motorcycle chick. So you must love when it gets to be spring so you can pull out the bike and go for rides. I've got quite a few girlfriends who ride bikes, and they're always excited when they can go on a road trip.
Oh, absolutely. It's totally fun.
That is on my bucket list. I will learn to ride a motorcycle one day.
Oh, well, I just really encourage you to actually put a date beside that so that you start to have that happen.
To move towards it.
Yeah, totally. Because it doesn't have to be a big deal, right? You can take those little steps and you get there. And, it's, how do I explain it? Riding a motorcycle it's confidence building. It's so many things. It's freedom. It's a time of, yeah, and it's a time of reflection. And, the other thing about it is it's also kind of meditative in the fact that we really have to be present and very aware to our environment and our surroundings.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking, meditative. I would definitely think it would be, not having, I've ridden on plenty of them, but haven't actually been in control of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I am definitely one of those people. Oh my God, I was 7. I couldn't wait to get my driver's license. Like I'm just, they'll have to rip my license out of my hand when I get old one day and tell me that I'm not capable of driving. They're going to have to rip that baby out of my hand because I love driving. It's that freedom thing. Just get in, just, open road and turn on the tunes and ride. So I think that's why that appeals to me. I just, oh, how long have you been riding?
Well, that's a really interesting story. I've been riding since I was about, just a sec, this time it's been about 10 years actually. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I actually had a little motorcycle. I grew up on northern Vancouver Island. And, to walk to my friends wasn't so fun because it would take about half an hour through the woods.
Mm.
And so I ended up trading my horse actually for a variety so that I could make some money because I saw that horses actually ate money and cows made money by having babies and then you could sell them. And
Mm.
then I got a motorcycle that I was able to have lots of fun and go in nature and all that other stuff. And then when I turned 16, I got a car. And so that was kind of it. Parked my motorcycle. And then a few years back, I was actually parasailing in Mexico and going, oh my God, I so love this. I love the feeling of it. I
Yeah.
don't, have you ever gone parasailing?
No, I haven't, but I could
Okay.
imagine.
Yeah. And so it was like, well, how can I have this again, like at home, so that I can have this experience several times because it's also part of living in our joy and living our passion.
Yeah.
And so as I'm up there, I'm brainstorming, and it was like a motorcycle. And then it was like, well, how can I really have it all? Because I had some renovations going on at my house at the time. And I was also planning another vacation away to Europe. Actually, I did a cruise with Mike Dooley. If you don't know who Mike Dooley is, Thoughts
Yeah,
Before
did you
Taking.
really?
I did. So,
Cool.
yeah, it was very cool. Over to Europe, and so I made a plan, and I got my motorcycle the end of that summer,
Nice.
and haven't looked back since. And then I got a
Nice.
bigger one the following year.
So what do you have now?
I have a 950 Yamaha touring bike, and that allows me. I've gone traveling actually by myself or with friends, but last year. Well, the year before last, I actually rode out to Alberta on my own, and I've got a trip planned this summer as well down to the States. So, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm short. I think I'd have to get a little bike.
Oh, you just have to make sure that you get one that fits you.
Yeah. They gonna make them
Totally.
that small?
Yeah.
Is it a moped?
No, absolutely not. But there's some that are actually made for women that are shorter. Like mine probably wouldn't be too bad for you because it you don't need to have huge long legs. And then
Okay,
some
good.
of the bikes they can adjust
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, really?
So for sure. Absolutely. When there's a will, Lynn, there's a way.
There is a way. You're right. That's right. That's right. And you know that a little bit of the downside I notice as you get older, you have a little bit more of that fear sort of thing. So I've noticed that. I hate that. I hate that. So I'm thinking, okay, and for years, it's like, yeah, I'd like to get my motorcycle license. I'd like to get a bike, and I'd really like to do that. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of freaky to me. But I know, yeah, I got to move through that, right?
Exactly.
Through that.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm coming to you, Tammy, when I'm ready.
Okay, you betcha.
I'm coming to you to ride with.
Absolutely. And anybody else that wants to ride, reach out to me on Facebook, other women, and because that's actually one of my other dreams is really to do a ride with women and to actually organize like a retreat or something with them
Yeah.
because it's really about, I'm really about people stepping into their power and really living what's inside their hearts.
Yeah. Well, that would definitely do it. Definitely do it.
Yeah.
So so let's talk a little bit about um, we had the chance to I had the chance to really get to know you more in the last little while and hear about the things that you've gone through. And so that listeners have context of what it is so they can learn about the things that worked for you to get through it. You lost your fiance.
Hmm.
How long ago was that?
Oh my God, Lynn, that was 20 years ago this year.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow. And so walk us through sort of what, because I haven't experienced that. I know people who have, and it's not something I can't say I can, I can imagine because I can't because I haven't been there.
Yeah,
So tell us
totally.
for you what that was like and the story around that.
Oh, so for me, I had actually had kind of like awakenings or experiences, adversity prior to that I had overcome that like through burnout that I believe all those, and when I look back even further, as a young child, I had adversity and found ways of overcoming my adversities. And so when this happened, I believe that there's a bigger picture. And so that's what I called on was, okay, what are my beliefs? I'd actually taken time previous to look at what is it that I believe about some things about life.
Mm.
And so I had some beliefs, and I believe about life after death. I recognize that not everybody does, and that's totally cool too. Because there was a day that I didn't believe about life after death. And so through that, I believed in that. And I already had a background of working with energy and believing in the aura and different things of that nature as well. And so
What
when,
made you come to that? Like if there was a time that you didn't believe, I absolutely believe in life after death. What made you come to the point to believing that?
oh, well, thanks for asking. So that was all around my burnout stuff, because, and even when I was young, I had little experience that I believed that I'm here for a reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have had some of the experiences that I've had. And so the burnout thing, I had had little signs that I needed to make some changes, but I was resisting them. And
Yes.
I was not feeling, I wasn't in my groove, definitely not. And I knew I needed to make some changes, but what it was, sometimes when we need to make change, we don't know what it was because we're so resistant that we have this fog around us. We
Yeah.
don't see the possibility because we're in resistance mode. And a friend introduced me to meditation. And so I started to learn a little bit about that. And I have a very active brain, mind. So people that have that, I can totally relate. Like some people go, oh, you seem so calm. And it's like, well, I actually am a type A personality. However, I've learned some skills to adapt. So,
Yes. And that's what it's about, finding these things to adapt, not being hard on ourselves, not changing ourselves, finding the things that work for us to work with who we are. And I totally relate to the busy brain type A, absolutely. And meditation for me that is a challenge. So yeah, I get that as well. So yeah, you find the things that work for sure.
yeah. And there's different types of meditation. So I'm actually looking
Yes.
at launching something a little bit later this year around meditation for the busy body or the busy brain because there's
Nice.
several things, yeah, that I help people with in doing that. Anyhow, getting back to where I had this burnout. I had this vision, and it was like, how can I have that happen? Like, wow. And I had also been given some dates for when that was going to occur, and it was like, I can't believe it. But anyhow,
Really?
oh yeah,
Dates even? Wow.
yeah, yeah, it was going to happen within the next 3 months. And
Wow.
yeah. And it did. It happened within that time frame, and it was absolutely amazing how it unfolded, because when I had the vision, I go, how in the green earth is that possible? And it did.
And
So
what was
that
it?
what
Or
was the
you're just
vision?
talking about something and you're not talking about your fiance passing away.
No, no, no. This
Oh,
was
something
prior to
different.
that. This
Okay.
was burnout that I had the vision. And I was also having little minor car accidents. So I really believe in the universe. The universe was trying to get my attention. So I had these little fender benders, nothing major, but it was like, hey, wake up, you know? And
Hmm.
I would lock my keys in the car. I never did that. And I still don't. So if things unusual are happening, those are signs the universe or something's trying to get our attention. So that's number one. Start being aware. And then, so I left. I followed my vision, which was leaving my job, and then, what's my new life going to look like? So then I started some things, made a list of what I wanted in my new career. And I also, during that time, I took some time for me. I actually went on vacation, had an amazing time in Hawaii, and it was like once again, I was guided. There was something else bigger than me that was supporting me along the journey.
Nice.
Yeah. So then, and everything was starting to fall into place. Like I wanted to take some courses. I actually ended off having the time off to do so. They were near where I was able to take them. So things were falling into place. I ended up becoming a chef and first aid attendant because that really worked for me, which is where a few years later I met my fiance. We had actually lived in the same apartment building a few years prior. We had been at my girlfriend's wedding. And so I could go on about that. Anyhow, we finally got together because going to camp was not my plan of me, a guy. Forget it. That's not who I am. I didn't want one of those reputations. And so, anyhow, but we had met outside of camp because my girlfriend was his banker. I found out later. And we had an amazing life, although our life together was short. There was some really precious things. I knew how much he loved and cared about me, which was huge because he showed me in so many different ways. And I think for our listeners, that's one of the things that's really important. Sometimes we don't show the people that we care about the most how much we care. And we,
Absolutely.
and we don't show them in ways that they can get it. And so, one of the books I recommend is like the five love languages.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah. Great book.
Because, yeah. And then if you're in relationship, talk to the person that you're in relationship with and start to use that as a communication tool. And that's the other thing is I think that people don't communicate so well. And we had a couple of personal challenges, but we communicated well through those. And and so we had lots of great time together when we were in camp. It was still within the professional realm. And then we would have a little bit of time off and we had great times together, and there was just something really about it. It really connected with my heart. And I knew how much I was loved and cared about and how much he really wanted the best for me. And he showed me and he told me in all my different love languages because I love them all, not just one. Thank you very much. And the same thing is I reciprocated that back to him. And so by having that, that made a huge difference. So I actually had a little something happen before because I was in the insurance and business continuation planning prior to going into logging camp. And so we were planning our life together, and I had this feeling I needed to ask him this question. So if something were to happen to you tomorrow, maybe we should talk about like wills and estates since we're planning our life together. And being a guy, they don't like to talk about that. So I
No.
said to him, what about this? And, it fell on deaf ears. And I said to myself at that point, would I be okay if something happened tomorrow? And within me, I had this peace. So I knew that there was something, it was okay. I can let it go. And I did. I never thought about it again. Well, about 6 weeks later, we're both working in camp. It's actually February 16, cloudy day. And next thing I know, there's a call over the radio going, Mayday, Mayday. And I'm shocked, right? It's like, I didn't know there was any other boats in where we were. We're way up northern BC, almost near Alaska.
Oh,
Anyhow, that was the day of the accident that my life changed forever. But I believe that there was a bigger picture at play. And as I still had to go through the process of grief, but I didn't go into the poor me and why did this happen? Because I knew if I went into that dark place, it would be really dark and I would go into victim and it would
yeah.
be very difficult to get out. So I believed that there was a bigger picture. And so from there, I got support. And that's also something that's really key is getting support. And so now I needed to go through that process, and everybody's grief process is different. So it's
Yes.
really, we have to listen to our own self. And you might work if you're going through it, you don't have to go through it alone. I totally encourage people to reach out for support. If we've got listeners on the radio today, they're totally welcome to reach out to me for that.
Yes, so important. Don't go through
Uh,
it alone. Don't go through it alone because that's a
yeah,
good chance that you will stay stuck in one of the stages of grief. And
absolutely.
you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You got to move through it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so from there, I moved through, but I could feel energy held in my body. And so I needed to have some touch. And so I went and had a variety of different types of massage and realized that it wasn't actually the designation of the person, it was really about the person that made the difference. And so from there, that led me to eventually starting my own business because I didn't want to be back in logging camps. It was great. It was a lifestyle, provided some benefits to me. It brought the love of my life, but that was one stage. And life is a bunch of different stages or seasons. And so having the burnout helped me to understand, the energy. And so I did meditation. I did a whole bunch of different things to support myself with that.
Nice.
And I reached out for outside support. And I just believed that there was something bigger and that I knew in my heart of hearts that he only wants the best for me. And I believe that to this day. He's like my angel on the other side, or however you want to look at it. It's okay.
Hmm.
Um, so that's where I'm at with that.
Nice. That is a great way to look at it when we can look at it as, they're watching
Yeah.
and protecting and they want you
Yeah.
to continue living and have
Yeah.
a great life
Yeah.
because yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Now
it's
you've
also the other key thing about it is about being complete with our relationships. And many people don't know really what that means. And
Ooh,
that,
good one. Good point. Yes.
I didn't have any bitterness. I didn't have any guilt. I wish I had said this. I wish I didn't do this or any of that. That was not on the picture because for me, I really had already had that awareness of how to do that and how to be complete. And so that made it another huge, huge difference.
Well, probably especially with family issues with your family and things that you've gone through there as well
Hmm.
since that.
Yeah, I had the loss of my mom, and that's why every loss is very different.
It
And
is.
the loss of my mom, we had 6 weeks from time of her being diagnosed to the times that she passed away. And I say this with great reverence that it was a beautiful experience. It was difficult, but it was very beautiful in the fact of being able to support her at her end of life. And I'll always remember, her lying in bed and the sun shining in the bedroom windows. We were able to keep her at home. And I originally thought that she was going to be here for a long time, and so I could not see her all the time. But then I balanced my work and being with my mom. because I wanted to, once again, I knew about the gift of completion and about being present. And so I brought that to dealing with my mom's passing, which made it very beautiful. And she had a beautiful passing as well. Very grateful that she didn't have a ton of pain. We were able to keep her with the morphine and stuff just slightly, so she was out of pain and comfortable. But yeah, so that's been huge, huge, huge. And once again, I really believe that when it's our time, it's our time. And I didn't always believe in that. That was as a result of my burnout and I was at this place of questioning life. What's life really about? Who am I? What's our purpose? Where did I get my beliefs anyhow? And that's really huge because I believe a lot of people haven't actually taken that time to go, who am I? What are my beliefs around life, around death, about how I should be as a mother, how I should be as a parent, how I should be as a woman, how I should be as a soul or whatever. And it's really, we're often programmed at very young ages to be what our parents want us to be. We're either following what they want us to do or we're rebelling for a variety of different reasons. And
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think we're trained to really to react.
yeah.
When this happens, this is what you do. When this happens, this is what you say. So really, we're I believe we're trained to react rather than to question and examine and be aware and look around and what's happening and how do you feel. I think we're trained to react. Absolutely.
Yeah, and be curious and start to find ways of having more inner peace. And if we're always so busy, which in our world these days, we're often busy. And I know many of my clients initially when they started to see me, they want to keep busy. They don't want to stop. And I was like that too. So I can totally relate. It's like, I
Yeah,
don't
being
want to
type
stop.
A.
What's that?
Being a type A, yes.
Oh, yeah. It's like, well, we're either unproductive, not okay, or whatever the list is. It's like there's too much to do or whatever. But
Yeah.
that doesn't allow us the presence of moments and the richness of life and to fully enjoy the juice and the passion that's available with life.
It makes me think of that quote, yeah, I see float around. I'm sure you've seen it float around social media of some, I can't remember exactly what it is, but the essence of it is you should spend, find 5 minutes a day to meditate. And if you're too busy for that, then spend 20 minutes meditating.
Yeah.
And I think that it is exactly it. It is exactly it. And I don't know what, well, the glorification of busy and all that stuff. It just, but I think it's very important. Your message is very important of taking the time to be aware and the messages that you get that, life is getting your attention. And that's the same thing I had gone through. And that what can happen if you don't start paying attention to that? I like the tips that you gave about little fender benders and, what about those that are listening that go, yeah, but I'm in this group and I'm in charge of that and people are counting on me and I have my job and I have a family and da 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 da.
Oh, they have their shopping list of life.
Oh, that's good. I like that shopping list of life. Yeah, they're like, you know what? People are counting on me. I have this and this and this.
Oh, well, that's great. Absolutely, Lynn. And what that really is how good is your car if you want to go and take it to the store or take your kids to school when it has no fuel or it has a flat tire?
Yeah.
And, that's actually many women and many men that are go, 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 or somebody that's even struggling or somebody that feels that there's something more to life. It's like they're exhausted or whatever it might be. They're often got a flat tire and they're ignoring it. They're going, no, it doesn't exist. But we wouldn't drive to school or we wouldn't go on a long journey with a flat tire, with it going, bop, 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 bop. And that's often us, but we shut our body down. We don't want to listen to our body. It's like, oh, I have an ache. Well, shut it down. Or, I have a stirring in my stomach or my head's really busy. It's like those are all messages that we're getting. It's like the body's trying to tell us. So what if we start to recognize that and take that 5 minutes? That's one thing that people can do is just take 5 minutes and do breathing. If you don't want to focus even on your breath, so we can do that right now. It's just like you can connect your tongue to your palate and just focus on your breath and feeling your breath going in and out. And if you find that that's kind of boring, then give your mind something to do and notice your breath going in and out, noticing how it's filling up your lungs. How big is it? If you were to give it a color or a texture, what would it be? Feeling it releasing as you're letting go, the exhale, letting go all your worries and all your tension. Breathing in that calm and peace. Imagining calm and peace floating throughout your whole body. And how would that be? Imagine if your life had more peace and more calm in it. So you say that you're too busy. Okay, great. Set that aside and imagine, are you willing to allow yourself the possibility of having more peace? The possibility of having more calm? What would that feel like? What would start to shift and change if you had more of that in your life? And be open. And initially you may not feel anything, notice anything, get anything, and that's okay. But there will come a time when you'll get things. Ideas will start popping. Or you can do that with journaling, and the ideas will start to come. And pay attention. And then when you're ready, you can start to open up your eyes and, start to even be grateful for the little things that we have. We have so much. But being grateful of even ourselves as women. I think we might start to go, oh, I'm grateful for the beautiful day. Well, what about being grateful for you? Grateful for the blood that flows through your body. Grateful for your breath. Grateful for your vision. Grateful for your heart.
Absolutely. I love what you said about you may not feel something. And I think that fits so well with what's going on today with the hustle and bustle and the rushing around and the operating on autopilot. I love that you said that that's okay. You may not notice anything or may not feel anything right now. But just begin, because you will eventually. It will start the process. It will prime the pump, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. I like that. And it's true. It will prime the pump. Just begin. Just begin somewhere. Just even if it's a minute, just stop. And it's really finding what works for you. And for some people, meditation doesn't work. They try and it doesn't work. Maybe for those listening, throw out some ideas that people can try of things that they can notice, that they can pay attention to, that they can, some strategies that they can try to find what works for them, to find their groove.
First of all, number one, you have to know what your groove is. And so it'd be interesting when you say groove, what your groove is. But for me, it's about flow. Like, when do I feel good? When do I feel inspired? When do I feel love? When do I feel joy? And, for parents, you might find that that's with your children. That's great. But I really invite you to do something that brings you joy outside of that. Brings you joy that feels just for you. It might be a bath. It might be walking in nature. It might be cooking a meal. It might be doing some artwork. And what it can be is where you get lost in time. But also having it be something that's actually fueling you up too. And it's about really bringing in awareness. So the other thing is you can also be aware, and for some people this is might be where they start, is noticing, making a list of all the things that are causing them stress or anxiety or the hustle and bustle, making a list of all their irritants.
Yeah, I
Because
think you have to look at the negative.
absolutely.
You have to know because for some people, if you ask them what they want and what makes them feel good, they have no clue. But if you have a point of reference, you could say, but most people do know what they hate, what they don't like, what they're tired of, what they're tired of putting up with. So it is valuable to look at that. Some people don't ever want to look at the negative and they just always want to think positive. But there is value in looking at that.
So I also look at it from a slightly different perspective as well, is we don't even have to look at things as negative, good or bad. They
True.
they
They just
are.
are.
And you might look at it being like the light and the shadow. Like the day is light and look at what we can see in the day. And when the sun is out, how we feel. Well, in the night, how do you feel? What happens to you when it's dark? And that can also be like the shadow. I know for me, when I was a little girl, I got scared at night. I used to have really bad dreams and that were really scary. So that brought up a lot of fear. So, but now I have an understanding. And so it's like that's another way of working with it because we have, oh, I really don't like this. Well, what might you like?
Hmm.
And, oh, I have a really busy brain. Oh, well, imagine what it might be like not to be busy. And then a person can also be curious as to, oh, what starts to come up and what starts to come up as a result of that. Because what I found with that, my own experience even, was I had some limiting beliefs that
Mm.
I got to change. And that's really important because that is really, I believe, of what's at the core of what's controlling a lot of us and a lot of our society.
Oh,
And what's
yes.
and it doesn't have to be that way. We can be the pilot of our own plane or our own ship or, that's the thing about riding our motorcycle. It's like we're in charge and we have to stay present. Otherwise, something can happen that fast.
Oh yeah. Life can just come along and hit you upside the head and throw something
Yeah,
at you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And on a
Yeah.
motorcycle, it's a great analogy for life because we think everybody else is seeing the world through the eyes that we are and paying attention. And I've seen it where drivers are not paying attention. And you have to be aware of your environment and surroundings. Otherwise, somebody could hit you really fast.
Yeah.
So you have to always be aware. And that's why it's so good for life, and it's also about embracing our fears. And so often we've been programmed to be afraid of our fears and we need to step through our fears. But there again, it's little baby steps. It's building little muscles. It's like any new thing. It can be kind of scary,
I
but just,
think yeah, you're right. I think we're told in a way, though, that these baby steps are irrelevant, that they don't really add, that unless I'm going to do something big, that whole go big or go home.
yeah.
That, I, in one hand, I like that. I like that go big or go home. There's power behind that. There's motivation and inspiration. But then it makes it tough for the times that it does require the baby steps.
Yeah.
Don't
And baby,
discount the baby steps.
absolutely.
That's how we all started out, was baby steps, literally.
Absolutely.
Literally. I want to talk about your program that you have upcoming before we run out of time. Life on Fire. Tell
Yeah.
everybody about this and how they can participate. And
Oh, sure. Well, Life on Fire is really about implementing some of these strategies that we've been talking about. Because I mentioned that, sometimes it's difficult to do things on our own. And I speak from my own experience. Sometimes we go, oh, well, it's just me that has this experience. Or how am I to do this? But when we connect with people that have walked the journey before us, it makes a huge, huge difference. And sometimes we don't even know what our dreams are and what our desires are, or what does life on fire mean. And life on fire to me is really about living a life that is alive, that excites us, where we're in the driver's seat. And so what I do with that is people start to go on that journey of discovery and help themselves and create their own. They learn about my fuel system through that process that will really help to keep themselves energized and keep them going. And they learn tools for dealing with guilt and overwhelm, because so often that happens, and how to be more peaceful and be more empowered and compassionate with ourselves. And it's a 21-day program where
Online?
absolutely, yeah, it's online and it's live, and it's coming up at the end of April. And for people that want more information, then they just need to go to lifeonfire.instapage.com, or they can also email me. So that's lifeonfire.instapage, INSTAPAGE.com. And there's a lot more information there, and they can sign up, and they'll get lots of information and blueprints along the way, and we'll be doing meditation and a variety. So for people that go, I don't know how to meditate, there'll be some ways here that they'll be able to do that. They'll learn how to do that. So just imagine what even having that tool alone is. And you know what? And the regular investment's for $197, but for all the people that are listening today, if they want to go on, I'm going to do that for them for $147. So
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's so awesome. Okay, people, no excuses. This is a chance to not be alone.
Yeah.
To really be able to focus and do it with other people. And oh, nice. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Well, it's really important for people.
It is. So for those of you listening, you want more information, you can also email Tammy at lifestyleharmony.ca. And again, what's the website? lifeonfire.instapage.com.
And if that's too much, just email me, Tammy at lifestyleharmony.ca, and I will hook them up and all of that good stuff. The other thing is if they want to do something one-on-one, then that's totally cool as well. And that can be online or in person. So, yeah, there's a few different options of how I work with people.
Nice.
It is.
So totally... I want to ask you, just a couple fun little things. What could you not live without?
What could I not live without?
Yeah.
My heart.
And
I
so see that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And what could I not live without? We're blessed with so many different things. Well, the ability to have my senses, because my senses help me to have my awareness.
Yeah. And nice. Yeah.
Without having outside support, outside friends,
Mm-hmm.
And nature.
Absolutely.
Nature.
Yes. Nature is our connection.
Absolutely. So that's another thing that people can do is take time and go into nature. And if they can't, then just have some images and imagine putting themselves in those nature images. Because not everybody is blessed to live 10 minutes from the mountains and 10 minutes from the beautiful ocean waterfront and 10 minutes from the lake.
Yeah. We are so lucky here. Oh my gosh, we are so lucky here. Absolutely. And the beauty of that, just having that image in front of you and just imagining yourself there, your mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know whether you're really there or not. That's what I love about the power of the mind. It
Yeah.
doesn't know whether you're imagining or whether you're actually doing it. You get the benefits from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
So I have one more thing to leave with you before we wrap it up. The time just flies by, but I like to ask everybody this that comes on my show, and it's not really a question, it's more of a finish this sentence for me. Tammy Phye is
Tammy Phye is about making a difference on the planet.
mm,
Yeah. And it's about living her dreams and desires and passions for me to be the best that I can be so that I can support others to do the same. Because
nice.
we need to have more love and compassion on the planet. You know, we're going through so many different transitions right now, and we need to have that.
I agree. Compassion. Compassion would make a world of difference.
And it all starts with having compassion for ourselves because many people do not. We haven't been raised with having compassion for ourselves.
That's right.
Because,
That's right.
especially as women, we're told that we're selfish if we do things like that. And that's not good.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Absolutely. I love it. Well,
And
thank you
community.
so much. You gave such great tips, things that people can take right away to use. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And for those of you, please, if you have any questions about Tammy's program, Life on Fire, 21-day program, she's giving a discount for those of you listening. Starts at the end of this month. I can't believe we're in April. And if you have any questions or you want to sign up, you want to get involved, get in touch with Tammy, Tammy at lifestyleharmony.ca. Don't wait. Is life giving you those messages or funny things going on? Are there, are you questioning things? Are you feeling off? It's life's trying to give you some messages, and Tammy can definitely help you with that. So thank you so much. This was so great. It went by so fast.
It did. It was such a blast. Thanks so much for having me, Lynn. It's been such a pleasure, and you're such an inspiration as well.
Oh, thank you. You too. You're the calm to my busy mind. I always feel so much more centered and at peace, and you do that for me. So I'm so glad to know you, and I'm so glad that we could spend this time together. I so appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Enjoy that sunshine and get
I
out.
will.
Have a wonderful weekend.
I will. Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you everybody for listening. Get in touch with Tammy. I urge you, and go see how maybe you want to work with her one-on-one. She does that as well. And that's lifestyleharmony.ca. I just want to let everybody know that Monday I've got a new, it's not a live show. It's going to be a podcast called Daily Hustle to help you start your day fierce. And those episodes, they're maximum 5 minutes, something that you can get some juice from to help you start your day fierce, to get you motivated, to get you excited, to get you thinking and brainstorming and really getting excited to implement some things, to take action, to get back into the game of life, and I'm going to bring you some great information from things that I've learned, my experience, through my experience, training, expertise, but also the pioneers of personal development. Those great people like Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Napoleon Hill, all the great pioneers of personal development, to today's mentors, the sought-after mentors, the Brendon Burchards, all the great stuff. And I want to just give you some great nuggets that you can download them and and start your day. Or maybe you can save them all up, and however you like to do it, whether you're listening in your car or whether you're out in nature or you're cleaning the house or whatever that is, just sitting quiet and taking that in. Um, I like to start my day that way. For some people, it's, they get up and they read something, or they meditate, or they journal, or they have their gratitude journal, whatever that is. I want to add that because there's so many, we can get value from that. It doesn't have to be sitting and reading a whole book. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this. So you can go to my website at Lynn, that's Line, lynnbrunette.com, click on the Daily Fierce tab, or Daily Hustle, sorry, Daily Hustle tab, and you will find all of my podcasts there. They'll vary, minute up to 5 minutes. And so I hope you'll join me in checking those out. I'm really excited to be able to offer those. And happy April Fool's Day if that's your thing. I'm not believing anything else, but I definitely did believe all the things that Tammy Phye shared with us today. So again, I encourage you to visit her website, lifestyleharmony.ca, and go have a fabulous day. Enjoy the sunshine. If it's not sunny where you are, imagine it's sunny. Imagine a sunny place. Have a fabulous weekend. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, thank you to my guest. And thank you to my amazing producer, Nesha, who makes everything run smoothly and makes us sound fabulous. Thank you, everybody. And I will catch you here again next Friday. Find your groove. Have a great day. Until next time, remember, you have the power. Bye for now.